Being the annual Youth Employment Conference, and this is the 2021 edition. We had the first ever edition last year. We would like to ensure that we have good social media presence, so kindly tweet about this conference, the topics that are going to be discussed, some of the questions that you have, and ensure you use the hashtag YEC2021, all right? Capital Y, capital E, capital C, 2021. That is our official hashtag for the Youth Employment Conference 2021. Please ensure that you tweet about it. If you're on Instagram, make sure that you take photos and put it up online so that we have social media presence. We would like this message to go as far as possible and reach as many people as possible. We also have a live feed that we'll be sharing on the Youth Agenda social media platforms. You can reshare and you can create watch parties so that those who are not able to attend physically are also able to follow the proceedings online. Sawa sawa? Sawa sawa? A bit more vigor, please encourage me so that I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Sawa sawa? Kila mtu ako sawa? All right, thank you very much. How many of you are on Twitter? Let me see. You know, they say KOT dunia mzima ni fast body. No one can bully Kenyans on Twitter, by the way. Kenyans on Twitter bully everyone, globally. Just ask CNN. They know about Kenyans on Twitter. So I know how powerful and influential people on Twitter can be. So please ensure that you tweet these messages, tweet all that you can with the proceedings that are going on. And what is our hashtag? Hashtag? YEC2021. All right. Let me see. How many of you are on Instagram? Hey, why are you being shy about it? By the way, I hope you guys use your real names on social media. Potential employers are here and they'll tell you your social media history and your digital footprint is actually important. So if your name is Hotboy97, you know yourselves, or Pretty Girl Nicki Minaj, please ensure that you at least try and use your real names so that you have a credible following and that the messages you're putting out are credible as well, all right? So for you who is on Instagram, ensure that you also take photos, nice photos of the sessions, of the proceedings, of yourselves in the conference, and send out the message, let everyone know that you are attending the 2021 Youth Employment Conference. And of course, how many of us are on Facebook? Now, like if you're not on Twitter or Instagram, you have to be on Facebook at the very least. At the very least. I know many young people left Facebook the moment their parents joined Facebook. The moment you got a friend request from your aunt or your dad, you're thinking, okay, maybe it's time I left Facebook. But please, Facebook is the most globally reached social media platform for communication. So please ensure that you also put out this message on Facebook as well, so that we have a wider reach and we get the following that this conference deserves, because these messages that are going to be discussed here and the matters dealing with young people are quite crucial. So I'd like to invite the Youth Agenda CEO, Mr. Victor Nyongesa. Yes, please. Makofi kwake. Okay, guys, we practice this. Keep clapping until he gets here. Thank you. All right, so just give us a few minutes. Victor, just say hi to the people in the microphone. Salimia wananchi kama mheshimiwa.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much, Bwana Richard. My name is Victor Nyongesa. I'm the CEO Youth Agenda, and I just want to take this opportunity to apologize. I know some of you came very early. We are starting in the next 5 minutes. So I just wanted to borrow this guy for a few minutes, then we'll start. Thanks so much.
Mnakubali niende? Ama nibaki? Niende? Okay, sawa. That's enough. Good morning. Good morning once again. All right, thank you for your patience. As we mentioned, we apologize for the delays that we've been experiencing, and we are going to commence with the program. Just quickly, anyone who's joined us and you were not here earlier on, welcome to the 2021 Youth Employment Conference. We hope that you have introduced yourself to the person you're sitting next to, if you do not know them. Kindly smile at them through the mask. Just smile with your eyes, ensure that they can tell that you're smiling, okay? I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the Youth Agenda CEO, Mr. Victor Nyongesa, who is going to guide us through the next few steps as we commence with the program. Karibuni sana. Please clap for him once more.
Good morning once again. Good morning. Tuko sawa? Hello. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor Nyongesa. I serve as the CEO for Youth Agenda, and today I'm really, really grateful to have you guys here. I just want to take this opportunity to appreciate each one of you for accepting our request and for believing in this cause. For many years, as young people, we keep on talking about unemployment. For actors who are in this space, we also keep on talking about the issue of unemployment. But today, this conference gives us an opportunity to discuss and ask ourselves, where did we go wrong as a country? And this is not an opportunity for us to point fingers at anyone. It's us to deliberate and understand how we can address the issue of unemployment. At this point, I just want to start by first recognizing our partners who have supported this event and ensure that today we are here. We have representatives from various counties attending to share their experiences and their thoughts on how we can address the issue of unemployment. I just want to start by appreciating the Executive Office of the President, who are also who have been part of this journey right from the beginning, and now today we start the conference. I also want to appreciate other partners, the likes of Kenya School of Government, International Labour Organization, UNEP, Generation Unlimited program, which is under the Executive Office of the President. I want to recognize our partners, National Youth Council, for supporting this journey. One Campaign, for being with us right from the beginning, and even for supporting young people to attend this conference. I want to recognize International Labour Organization for also supporting young people to attend this conference, and also for being part of this organizing and ensuring that this event is a success. I also want to recognize Plan International for supporting young people from various counties also to attend this conference, just to share their experiences and their thoughts on addressing the issue of unemployment. I also recognize UNICEF, HIVOS, and other organizations, Power 254, Kenya Land Alliance, County Governance Watch, who are also part of this initiative that has given us an opportunity to talk about the issue of unemployment within the country, and also to shape the discussion and see how we are going to work as private sector, as government, and in collaboration with young people across the country in terms of finding solution to the unemployment challenge. I understand the issue of COVID has affected most of us. Research has shown that most young people out there have lost jobs. Most young people out there, some have received pay cut, and others are still struggling, and they do not know when they will secure their first job. But as a country, this conference gives us an opportunity. This conference brings us to have a candid conversation on the opportunities that exist in the various sectors that can create more job opportunities for young people. This conference also gives us an opportunity to understand what are the youth priorities in the various sectors. And just for information, with this conference, we are going to focus on 4 key sectors that have the potential to create more job opportunities for young people. The first sector we are looking at is the agriculture sector. The second sector is environment. Third, we'll be looking at the creative and digital sector. And lastly, we'll be looking at the manufacturing sector. If you look at these banners and the logos, these are various actors that play a key role in those sectors. Some are not on the banner, but still they are within us, and they are also going to get an opportunity to give their contribution to the discussions we are going to have here. At this point, allow me to just invite our guests who are going to officially open this conference to come and occupy the front seats. I would like to start by inviting the Executive Office of the President, represented by Madam Elizabeth. Kindly. Let's clap, please. I would like to invite Madam Jane Kagiri from Nairobi Metropolitan Service. Kindly. Caroline Njoki from ILO. Kindly.
I don't think anyone knows what ILO is.
International Labour Organization, ILO. Yes. I also would like to invite Madam Nina Haze from One Campaign, kindly. I also like to invite Representative Madam Margaret. She's representing National Youth Council, the CEO, who has not been able to join us. Please, ladies and gentlemen, we are also expecting PS in charge of youth affairs, but he's not yet arrived. But the moment he arrives, we'll give him an opportunity to also make his remarks. At this point, allow me just to give an opportunity to our amazing guests just to make remarks. Each one will take 3 minutes or 5 minutes maximum just to make remarks what they are doing as an institution and what this conference means to them as an organization. They'll also get an opportunity later on to sit in the various panel discussion to dig deeper in the various opportunities that exist in those sectors that I mentioned. I would like to start by giving an opportunity to Madam Margaret, who is representing the CEO for National Youth Council, to make her remarks. Thanks so much.
All dignitaries present and the youth of this nation, hamjamboni. My name is Margaret Kiogora, and I'm head of HR at National Youth Council. But today here, I'm here to represent our CEO, who is away on an official duty. And as we all know, most of us are waiting to see the CEO. But tunajua tunasemanga nini? Sisi ndio tu? Sisi ndio tuko. Si ni kweli? Sisi ndio tuko na ni sisi tuna represent. So I'd like to give his apology that Mr. Royce Osaka Chelewa was not able to join us. As it had been mentioned by Mr. Victor, he's away on an official duty to represent the nation. and actually he's representing the youth of this nation. Further to that, it is my pleasure to also inform you all that our CEO, Mr. Roy Sasaka-Telewa, who is a youth, has just been elected to serve as the Deputy Secretary to the Deputy Secretary General-elect at Pan-African Youth Union. And I believe this is a statement of the brilliant minds that we have in this nation. And to me, I believe, and to all of us, this is a momentous occasion and a vote of confidence for the youth who now have a voice in the continent. Let us give him a hearty clap in absentia. It is an honor to join you all in this Youth Empowerment Conference, dubbed Economic Transformation and Job Creation. This is a unique forum to deliberate and share innovations and way forward to grow our economy while increasing job creation and at the same time reducing youth unemployment. I know we've all been looking for an opportunity to be at the decision table. This is the time, and this is our opportunity to be able to give our contribution. This conference could not have come at the right time because as we all know, we are recovering from the COVID-19 devastating effects, which led to a widespread unemployment in the youth population. If you remember, most of the people who have been laid off are actually people below 35 years. I know there are a few above that have been affected, but we are the people who have really suffered out of the COVID-19 devastation. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our stakeholders and partners for putting resources and making this conference a reality. As we are all aware, the youth account for 75% of Kenya population, but they are the most underrepresented at both national levels and also at the county level. As National Youth Council, we are striving to change this narrative through lobbying for policies. I'm sure you've seen us. We are called Sauti ya Vijana. We are not just called Sauti ya Vijana for nothing. It's because we lobby for these policies to ensure that there is representation of youth in all government agencies, and not just government agencies, even in the private sector. It is worth noting that in the last few years, His Excellency the President has appointed youth to key government jobs. I'm sure you've seen jobs including the chief administrative secretaries. Most of them are youth, and for me, that's a win. Our very own board of directors, they're actually youth. The board for National Youth Council, they're youth. All of them are under 35, and to me, that's a key win. This goes to show that there is so much belief from there's so much belief from His Excellency the President that the youth can do it, given the opportunity. And it is a testament of good work that National Youth Council is doing to voice the needs of the youth. It is my sincere hope as we open the two-day conference that we will come up with key solutions and deliverables that will determine our next course of action in fighting unemployment. As I conclude, to the stakeholders and partners present here today, if you remember the former UN Secretary General, the late Kofi Annan, he once said, any society that does not succeed in tapping into the energy and creativity of its youth will be left behind. So I believe that this opportunity allows us to embrace all the youth, to listen to them, and find a solution, because we are the solutions, actually. We need to be able to tell people, this is what we want. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thanks so much, Margaret, for those remarks. At this point, I want to now invite Madam Jane Kagiri, a representative from the Nairobi Metropolitan Service, apologies for that, to make her remarks. Karibu sana.
Distinguished partners, Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Jane Kagiri, and I'm the advisor on gender, youth, and ICT to the Director General, Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Today, I stand here on behalf of my Director General. I'm sure you all know him, Lieutenant General Mohamed Badi, who would have very much wished to be with us today. However, due to overlapping engagements, he was not able to join us. But he assures me of his commitment to the youth agenda and required me to deliver that message to you, that he's with you and he supports every initiative here today. Allow me to go ahead and mention a bit about Nairobi Metropolitan Services and state that Nairobi Metropolitan Services is an establishment that was created on March 20th, 2020. And why Nairobi Metropolitan Agency was created, it was to become the implementer of the transferred functions from the Nairobi City County Government. And some of the functions that were transferred to us included the health services, the transport services, the public works services, and also the housing services. These four functions, I'm sure you've not heard me mention the youth. The youth was left at the Nairobi City County Government. However, due to the commitment my Director General has on the youth agenda, he requested to have an advisor on gender, youth, and ICT. And that is how come I came to NMS to serve him on that purpose. So that should confirm to you of our commitment on the youth agenda. Considering today our topic is on youth employment, I would want to mention a few things that Nairobi Metropolitan Services is doing to create a conducive environment for businesses as well as employers and communities, so as for us to expand our employment opportunities in the city. I'll start by mentioning about our energy department. Of course, I've seen today we are discussing issues of digital and the creatives, and I believe we require energy for us to go digital. In our energy department, we are trying to make sure every corner of Nairobi is connected and more so well lit. I'll give you an example and state that since Nairobi Metropolitan Services was incepted, that is on March 20th last year, that is almost 2 years from date. I can assure you that up to date we have revived 45,000 lights in this city. Recently I met somebody from Jamhuri Estate and he told me the last time we saw street lights on our estate was in the year 1989. So those are some of the efforts we are taking up, and that tells you with the curfew now removed, you can work for extended hours, which will mean employment opportunities will be created. When we move on to our transport sector, we have rehabilitated as well as recarpeted 79 kilometers of road. I'm sure when we say that number, it sounds like a small number. But picture if you're driving from Nairobi to Machakos. That is the amount of tarmac that we have created. So that is also for us to ease movement for our citizens in this country. And again, let me also mention, we have done 18 kilometers of non-motorized transport facilities. Ile mnaita Kabro. Ama hamjaiona? I'm sure you have seen it. Yesterday, I met a comedian who told me, thank the Director General because now we all feel like VIPs as we walk on the red Cabro. So those are some of the initiatives we've taken up. I'll tell you in our procurement department and confirm that in my presence there, this is something that I've always agitated for, that 30% of all our procurement opportunities must be considered for youth, women, and persons with disability. That one, I can assure you, is an undertaking that is happening at Nairobi Metropolitan Services, and I encourage each and every person here to front their companies and pursue those opportunities because they are equal for everybody. Let me mention also in our human resource department, Nairobi Metropolitan Services has a workforce of 7,887 employees. Out of the 7,887 employees, 1,894 are actually youth. That should tell us it's about 24%. We haven't gotten to the 30% mark, which is our target, but we strongly look forward to achieving that. On matters environment, which is also mentioned in this conference today, NMS is at the forefront of rehabilitating our public spaces. I'm sure you saw a partnership between us, Ministry of Environment, Kenya Wildlife Services, and Kenya Forest Services, where we all came together to rehabilitate the Michuki Park. Today, Michuki Park is open and it has access to Wi-Fi. So for those who want to work digital, that's an open space and it's a wonderful place for you to work from. Again, if you've also noticed, we fenced off Uhuru Park. When Uhuru Park reopens, it's going to also be a very beautiful green space for our young people and anybody willing to work from there to sit and enjoy the greenery and work from there. We also have Vanji Gardens. A lot of work is going into that space where we are trying to see as much as possible that our people have a green city and a wonderful environment to work in. In the health sector, I'm sure you've also seen that we've put up 24 health facilities and 15 are actually operational. So again, break down that math. That is how come we are arriving at 7,887 employees. Those are employment opportunities that have been created. For me, I would want to leave you with a challenge this morning. In February this year, we ran an advertisement in the newspaper. And this advertisement, we were seeking to recruit drivers, plant operators, clerical officers, and subordinate staff. The positions in total were 254. I got a bit keen and I wanted to know the number of applications we received. Ladies and gentlemen, we received 56,000 applications for the 254 positions. All those were qualified Kenyans who believed they could do the jobs that we had advertised for. Today, when I sit here and as I walk around, I worry for the 55,276 who did not get to sit to get these jobs. So my question today and our challenge to each one of us is, as we discuss, let's arrive at solutions that will create opportunities for these people, for them to get employment, and for everybody else who doesn't have employment and is seeking for one. Finally, allow me to welcome you to Nairobi on behalf of my Director General. This is a conversation we are so much interested in because we know it's opportunities such as this that we get challenged. We do our research, we do our outreach, and we let Kenyans know what we are actually doing, and they also let us know where we need to improve on. Thank you so much. God bless you, and have a beautiful day as we deliberate.
Thank you so much, Madam Jane Kagiri, for joining us and for those remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to invite Madam Caroline Njoki. Caroline Njoki is the Chief Technical Advisor at International Labour Organization. Allow me to invite her to make her remarks. Thank you so much, and karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Victor. Good morning to the young people in the room. I was trying to listen if I will hear good morning from this side. Since I was very specific that it was for young people. We were all young people, so everyone was allowed to respond to that. Yeah, we were all young at one point. Victor, the energy in this room is not inspiring me at all. At all. I think I had more energy than I feel when I was a bit younger. And so I'm going to break protocol, Victor. I'm known to do that a lot, so no surprise to you. And ask one person to give us an energizer. I know we are doing opening remarks, but we need a bit more oomph. So who's the courageous, hopefully woman, young woman, that will give us an energizer? Who told us about showing up? And no one is showing up now. How will you show up for an interview? See, very good. Come. Can we use that mic there? Okay. Just come on. Take this one. Introduce yourself and then energize.
Okay, hi guys. Hi again.
Hi.
Okay, my name is Karen Mahungu. If you like it, you can call me Shaya. I'm from Cheza Cheza Dance Foundation. And I need you to stand up on your 2 feet. So you will follow what I'll request you to do. So you would put one hand on your chest and another one on your stomach. Then feel free to be on your safe space. Don't be shy because of someone will see you. Then breathe in, out, breathe in, out. So I need you to clap. We usually say kalabanta, kalabanta, kabalanta, señorita. No, you are too low. No. So we need to do it with our passion, okay? So if I say kalabanta, kalabanta, señorita. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I hope that we can carry that energy throughout the next 2 days. Victor, if the energy goes down, please just, we energize. We're very pleased as the ILO to be in this meeting once again. Victor introduced me, but let me do it. Just I wear two hats at the ILO. So I have the role of a technical advisor on jobs and skills, and my other role is that I also serve as the officer in charge for the ILO in Kenya. And as I stand here this morning, I am going to wear both hats in an alternate way, so that I will speak more broadly to the work that the ILO is doing when it comes to employment. As I was saying, we're very, very happy to be here yet again. We met last year when things were worse than they are now. We were still unsure where we would be at a time like this. I'm not sure how many of us thought that things would be slightly better. I'm always very careful to talk about recovery because I'm not sure we are there yet. You know, COVID keeps coming and going, and we are learning how to live with it. But we are grateful that we are all here, and I'll ask us all to take the advantage of being here. Being here means being present. So let me also encourage you, for the next 2 days that you have dedicated to be here, let it not just be your body that is here. Tuko pamoja? You know, people can be here, but they are not here. Decide to be fully present, okay? Take those breaths we've been taught how to do just to bring yourself back. They say the mind is the noisiest place on earth. Did you know that? Did you know that? Where did you think? You thought it's in a factory? No. If you think about the noise, all of us here, our noises combined, this can be a very terrible place to be at. But try to block out that noise for the 2 days that you're here. And why? So that you can open yourself up to receive a lot of the very valuable information that is going to be shared with you, but also to share your own experience. We are not talking at you. Are we together? We are having a dialogue together. So please show up, ask questions, and step up. As I begin, I would like to start with a teaching that I like very much. It says that some days will bring you peace. Some days will give you wisdom. Other days will ask you to fight for the life you want. Show up for all of them. Should I repeat it? Some days will bring you peace. Some days will give you wisdom. Other days will ask you to fight for the life you want. Show up for all of them. And what that tells me every day is that the constant is showing up. Be there. Thank you so much, Victor and the Youth Agenda for having us as part of this conversation, and also to the Kenya School of Government for once more hosting us in this beautiful facility, and also to all the partners that are coming on board to support this, this ongoing conversation. I see that the banner is getting bigger, Victor, which means that it's because we have to put more partners in there. So hopefully next year the banner is going to be cutting across because we have so many actors coming on board. I also really hope that we continue to get representation from across the counties. I don't know how many counties are represented right now. Can I check who is from Garissa County? Are you in the house? Garissa County? Garissa? Turkana County? Lamu County? Lamu? No, we are holding each other accountable here. Are we together? Lamu? Wajir? Wajir? Mandera? Mandera? Okay. My home county, Kirinyaga? Kirinyaga? You know Kirinyaga is 1 hour away from here. So I don't know why they are not here, Victor. Which other county? Kiambu County? Where? Kiambu? Are you showing up or showing up? Okay, very good. Nairobi? Nairobi? Okay. Where are the rest of you from? Who thinks they're from the farthest county in this room? Which county? From Siaya. And you're from? No, I'll come to you. The gentleman in the one t-shirt? Homa Bay, very good. We also had Kisumu. Who's from Kisumu? Fantastic. And from? Kisumu. Very good. Victor, no pressure. But next year, we can't do that roll call and not see hands up. Can we agree? It's not, I'm not asking Victor, we as a, can we agree? That we are really going to get all the young people in the 47 counties are not so many. Okay? And kama ni transport, we will ask Elizabeth and the others to just watupe pesa tu watu wakuje. No pressure. It's because this is about inclusion, Victor. If you're not on the at the table, before we were told just come to the table, but then you get to the table and the seats are not enough. So people are like, but there are no seats, you just wait outside. These days we are talking about not just being at the table. What are we talking about? Bringing our seats? Bring our seats? So that there is no excuse. Ati hakuna viti. I have my folded one, or I have my lesso, and where I come from, you can sit on that lesso. So it's about really, when we talk about engaging young people, it's truly working with them. The International Labour Organization, and Victor, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. Let me use just a little bit of time. The International Labour Organization is a UN agency that is 102 years old. And it was founded to look at how to make the world of work, employment, jobs, much better. I'll tell you how we do this. And we have young people truly, truly at the heart of what we do. Figures have been mentioned before about the constitution of young people in this country. But it's not just in Kenya. Africa, we have a really huge population of young people, and it's a resource. But we have to go further than just saying that young people are a resource, okay? You can have oil. We have oil in Turkana, isn't it? But if that oil just remained on the ground, how is that resource useful to anyone? So we have to see how it is that we exploit and bring out the potential in young people. The last 21, 22 months have been very, very difficult for everyone, every one of us. Do not be deceived. But you know what the difference has been? The difference has been in what capacities we have to cope. Okay? Because if you kept your job, okay, even if the food price went a little bit up, it did not affect you as much, isn't it? But then if you are, you lose your job and the food is expensive, electricity is expensive, then you're just not able to cope as much. And unfortunately, young people have been among the most affected in the last 22, 23 months. Why? Why is it that young people have been most affected? One, because young people are usually in jobs, and I think my colleague said that, you're usually when people are being fired, and this is so sad, the last person hired is often the first person out, isn't it? Is last in, first out. Why? Because it's cheaper. Do you know why it's cheaper? Because you have not accumulated a lot of pension. Are we together? If you've been there 3 years, it's much cheaper. The other reason is that as young people, there is this thing called experience, and I know you all hate it. I hated it when I was a 20-year-old without experience, and people wanted 10 years of experience. So I was wondering if I was supposed to have started working when I was 10. Do you feel the same way? You're 25, 15 years of experience needed. What is the working age in Kenya? So when did you start working? Yeah, so a lack of that experience is also often a reason that young people are easy to, are out of the job market fast. But also, if you look at the sectors where young people are, these include retail, sales, they're in entertainment, they are in accommodation. These are also the areas that have really been affected by COVID. And so, as hotels were closing in Mombasa, in Naivasha, in other parts of the country, it means who are the most people that were being locked out of jobs? It is young people. The ILO in June last year indicated that youth employment fell at 8.7% globally, okay? Compared to 3.7% of the adults. So more young people lost jobs compared to adults. Then we also have this category of young people who are not in employment, they are not in education, they're not in employment, and they are not in training. Do we have anyone that identifies as such here? There's no shame. Not in education, not in employment, and not in training. Anyone? Just one, two, three. Just three? Okay, this is a very good audience. Okay? 4. Yeah? There's no shame. Okay? Are we together? And don't worry, no one is going to, tag in you in any way. But this category of people is said to have increased because schools closed, training institutions closed, and young people were also getting out of the job market. So the question is, how do we reduce this number so that the young people are either getting an education, they are getting into employment, or they are engaged in training? And this is to ensure that we do not exclude young people. I said COVID, it seems we are having to live with it now. So the question is, how is it that we can ensure this disruption that we have had does not scar young people in the long term? They say it's an employer's market right now. What does it mean? It means that employers have got so much choice. They are spoiled for choice. The people who lost their jobs, they are trying to get back into the job market. And so you can imagine how much more difficult it is for young people. So how are we responding in Kenya, considering all these challenges? One, and last year we spoke about this. We spoke about the disconnect that exists between the jobs that are available and the skills that are available. Is that something you identify with? Yeah? So you are, you have a qualification in let's say baking. You know, you bake the most amazing cakes, but no one is looking for cakes. Does that sound familiar? You're a dressmaker, but the market for dresses is very, very small. Or you're a graduate from University X, but your skill is not required by the labor market. And so what we have been working on is strengthening the technical, vocational, educational training ecosystem so that this system is more responsive to the training needs, so that we offer the training that is required by the job market. If the job market says we need more plumbers, then we train plumbers, okay? Because what are you going to do with the dressmakers? If it says we need 50 dressmakers, then we train 50 dressmakers and not people who work on fixing electricity. But it's also identifying job sectors that have it is also looking at sectors where young people can be have a lot of potential to be integrated. And that's why I'm very happy that during this conference, we have 4 sectors that we are looking at. Those sectors were not picked on randomly, but it is because there is real potential in those sectors. We are working to strengthen partnerships with private sector, and I spoke about the increasing numbers of partners that we have in this forum. But it's not only that. Jobs are found within private sector, and private sector doesn't mean big companies. Are we together? It is also small businesses. So how is it that we support those small businesses so that they can absorb as many young people as possible? How can we work with businesses, with industry, so that they open up more opportunities for young people to learn how to do things? We still need a lot more of these actors to come on board, and that is why I continue to urge those in the private sector that are represented here to continue opening up their workplaces for young people so that they can get that experience that we so much need of whatever number of years. Another key area that we are working on is skills recognition. Okay? You have taught yourself to do something. You're self-taught. Or you found yourself in a situation where you acquired a new skill. So how is it that, not in a school setting, you've taught yourself to fix cars or to fix solar or to do any other thing, but you have no certification for that, which means no one can tell that you have that skill. And we've been working very closely with the Kenya National Qualification Authority to see how those skills can be certified. So what are you expected to do as a young people? Why am I telling you this? It is so that you are able to take up these opportunities. When this is opened up countrywide and you have a skill, whether it's gardening, whether it's taking care of animals, whatever it is, show up and get certified, because this will help you to be able to enter into many other different sectors. We continue to support youth with entrepreneurship, and I know that a lot will be spoken about in the next 2 days. I still have 2 minutes, Victor, so I will wind up. As offering a platform for young people so that that voice is represented. I'm very happy. I just met the colleague from One World, where a lot of advocacy is happening. We have the National Youth Council. Please show up in these platforms, engage. And as I finish, I'll give you what I call some Caroline tips. I didn't invent them, but I think these are really tips that you could use to take you about life. One is explore opportunities for learning. Try to learn something every new day. Learn something every new day. Take new courses, learn a new skill, teach yourself to bake, teach yourself to farm. Those skills will always be useful. And you know why? Because an opportunity must be seized within the moment of the opportunity, because opportunities do expire. 2, quit the victim mentality. Quit the victim mentality. This is hard fact, because my fellow men and women, young men and women, the world does not owe any of us anything. Tuko pamoja. So don't quit that, because when you're stuck in it, you stop seeing the opportunities that could be around you. Use your willpower and inherent God-given abilities to soldier on every day and give every day your best, because success does not happen overnight. So with those very many words, they are not few, and I will not pretend they are few. Really, really happy to be part of this conversation, really happy to engage with all of you. And we have one youth that we supported that will also be exhibiting some items that they are working on. So I also encourage you to support those that are exhibiting here, not just to buy, but go learn how they are doing these things, because you can also use the same kind of knowledge to make things with your own hands. So thank you very much, and thank you, Victor, for your indulgence.
Thanks so much, Caroline, for those many remarks. But I want to believe young people in this room have noted something, and they are going to practice some of the recommendations you've given them in your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been joined by another guest, but I'm not going to introduce the guest myself. Allow me to invite Mr. Peter Quest, who is the youth coordinator at Kenya School of Government. Karibu sana bwana Peter Quest, to invite.
Good morning. I want to take this opportunity, of course, to welcome you to Kenya School of Government, but most importantly, I want to take this opportunity to welcome my boss, Professor Ludeki Chwea. I remember when we started the youth programs here, he really pushed every infrastructure, every resources possible and available to really set up the youth center within Kenya School of Government. Professor, welcome and address the youth. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Peter Quest. Our distinguished guests at this important youth assembled in this room, good morning. Let me get some oxygen, all right? First of all, it's my great pleasure to welcome you very warmly to the Kenya School of Government. I hope you are already feeling at home, aren't you? If you are not already feeling at home, you know you're getting late, and you have yourself to blame. I was very delighted to learn about this meeting, and indeed we were very glad to be among the partner institutions that stepped forward to participate in organizing the meeting. The agenda you have for the youth agenda this time is very important, namely employment. And I have only about 3 remarks to make in this regard. First of all, employment is the means of livelihood. So everyone must step forward to find employment because it's a means of livelihood. It's through employment, needless to say, that you'll be able to meet your needs and the needs of those who depend upon you, who might include your parents as they age, who might include your siblings, who might include and will certainly include your offsprings, and so on. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we have employment opportunities, this being the means of livelihood for everyone, including the aged, the seniors. Sometimes I hear that it is the youth who need the jobs and not the older people. And yet the older people need jobs to get money to pay school fees for the youth in the family. So I always find it a bit of a contradiction, you know. If you give a 65-year-old a job, he or she will receive income from that job. The question is, what will he or she spend that income on? Immediately, he or she will use the income to pay college fees for the youth in the family, or his children. So if you say a 65-year-old should not get a job, you are in other words saying the youth who depend on him or her in the family should quit college. Now you can see the contradiction, don't you? So everyone requires a job, this being a means of livelihood. The second point is this: how do we find employment? Of course, there is the traditional way that we have explored to find employment, which is to apply for jobs in government and in private sector organizations. It is a good thing to do. It's very normal to do so. But times have changed, because when we were leaving college, the university, we actually got jobs before we wrote the final examination. And many private firms came over to the university to interview us. The Public Service Commission did the same. We were interviewed even before we could write the final examinations. But the situation has changed. Back then, the population of this country was only about 15 million, rising to 20 million. Today, we have more than doubled. So the situation is no longer the same. But then, the human mind is being created by God to think and to be innovative. So if we can't get employment in the traditional organizations that people always got jobs in, what is the alternative? And you might find that the alternative is even better than what would have been the first option. The alternative is for us to create those jobs and fit ourselves in. Now, the question is, what do we need to have to do so? And number one, we need to have that understanding that we can actually create jobs ourselves, for ourselves and for others. And so it is that understanding, that realization, the acceptance of that fact that is the prerequisite for doing so. Number two, there is always the question of capital. Isn't that the case? The capital. Now, we want to thank government. Government has tried to create capital for the youth, you know, the youth fund and so on. And this needs to be explored. But there's something else I want to tell you about capital. The greatest capital is in trust. When you have trust, you can use trust to get capital and get going. So you can even go to a business person and tell that individual, look, I can sell your merchandise for you, and then you will pay me. And you'll get the merchandise, you will sell it, and they will pay you, and slowly you accumulate capital. So to step forward to offer to sell the merchandise for the business person, you don't need capital as such. You need to understand that that opportunity exists and that you can exploit it. So there are multiple ways in which we can move forward to raise capital to start a business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the capital doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to be millions of shillings. I recall when I tried to do business, because the income was very small and I had siblings to look after and parents to look after, and my income was very little from the government job, and I decided I must have some business also. And I would send for onions from Mount Elgon, and an agent there would put in the Eldoret Express bus, and I would collect the onions here in Machakos Country Bus, and I would try to sell in some places around here. Sometimes I suffered a lot, especially during the rainy season, because those onions are perishable. They need to be dried in the sun as you look for more and more market. But you know what? It worked. Because from time to time I would have an extra 300 bob in my pocket, and sometimes that's all I needed to get going. So you don't need a lot of money, you don't need capital in the sense of hundreds of thousands of shillings. I can tell you this, 5,000 shillings can be the capital you need to plunge in business. My onion business, I started it with just about 500 shillings, and it worked. So I don't want to tire you with a lot of stories. I think my point has been made, that it is possible for us to think about creating jobs for ourselves and for others who will be looking upon us to get those jobs. And no one should tell us that education is no longer important because it's not giving us jobs. Well, it wasn't meant to do so. Education, including university education, is meant to sharpen our intellectual capability to be able to recognize opportunities around us. That's the purpose of education. So it is not necessarily to give you a direct job. And so education is still important. Those degree certificates are still important because a graduate has skills, has knowledge, has a better understanding of society. And sometimes that's all you need to identify opportunities around you and to exploit those opportunities. So education is still important. Some have argued, and I've heard them say this many times, that some university degrees are not aligned to the needs of industry. That's a rushed statement. Very, very rushed. Any university degree program is useful. whether you've studied philosophy, because it sharpens your intellect and your mind and your perspectives about life. And that's all you need to find opportunities in life. So it shouldn't be that I studied linguistics, therefore it was a bogus degree program. That's not true. Do you buy my view of things? The degree program is meant to sharpen your mind, to sharpen your intellect, whether it is through medicine or through linguistics or through history, it doesn't matter. A graduate is somebody who understands the environment and society better. And that's all you need to find your way around, including opportunities for employment. Of course, we want to thank government a lot for promoting technical training, because what that simply means is that you step out and you need just a toolbox and you are in business. Do you see? As a mason, as a carpenter, and so on and so forth. So that's really, it's working out very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for listening to me. And I see you actually listened. You know, I can tell. As a teacher, you actually listened, and I feel very, very happy that you have listened. But anybody telling you that it is your time to go into politics, I disagree. If you want to go into politics, you can go. Is that all right? Feel free to go. But let not anyone tell you that that is the best option for you. How is it best option for you? That arena is really untidy. It is tough arena. You need money. Where will you get this money? You need, a youthful person needs to build himself or herself first. You get a job, you get employment, and set yourself up. All right? And after that, then you can go into politics. If this were not true, I would have gone into politics a long time ago. So I can't tell you to do that which I think, that which I wouldn't do. You understand? I would be dishonest. Maybe it's now that I can go into politics, perhaps. Don't you think? Maybe now, maybe, but even maybe I should wait for another 10 years. I can go when I'm 70. So don't feel pushed to go into politics unless it is your own personal decision to do so. Then you can go there, because the challenges there are also quite tough. So build yourself, find employment, build yourself, build capital, create employment opportunities for others, because it's not like when you become an MP, then you create employment opportunities for others. How do you do so? But when you are an entrepreneur, you actually create opportunities for others, and you become even a more useful member of the society. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki. If I have been a bit excessive a bit, you forgive me, but feel free to even contact me. We can discuss some of these statements that I've made a bit loosely. We can discuss one-on-one. Feel free to come, and we discuss in some greater detail, because throughout my life, I work with the youth. As a university don, I work with the youth. My work is to train the youth, first years, second years, whether they are masters, whatever. That's all I have done throughout my career, to help the youth set themselves up, which is why I am very passionate about these things that I say. I go out there to find the youth with talent, myself, personally. I go to watch high schools playing soccer, and I identify those who are skilled, like Madam said, the prior skills, and those who are scoring sharply, I pick them up and I bring them to KSG. I have established a soccer team. It is called Kenya School of Government Football Club, Ogopa. You understand? I set up that club here, and I go out there looking for youth with talent, and I bring them here. But many of them don't have jobs, so I have this task of having to find them a job here at KSG. So I find them jobs here at KSG. However, temporarily, I hide behind certain powers that are given to the Director General to give them jobs, all right? So I might say I might give them a job as, say, a waiter in our restaurant or something, but most of the day, they will be practicing in the field. And that's how come our team has beaten all teams around us, and we have now moved to what level are we? First division. Makofia. And so wherever I go, I tell my fellow CEOs, look, these players I have, please, if you have a permanent job in your organization, chukua how. Because they will continue to play for KSG even as they work in other organizations. So for me, I am doing my best to try to support the youth, apart from having established a youth center here at the Kenya School of Government to develop youth talent and so on. And we have another center in Isiolo, and we are working on one in Tana River, and then we move on to Vihiga and so on. So we are moving. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Professor, for those wonderful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I see time is not on our side. Allow me to invite the next speaker. Next is Ms. Elizabeth Kimulu, OGW. Elizabeth is the Director, Social Sector, Presidential Policy and Strategy Unit under the Executive Office of the President. Karibu sana, Madam Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Vijana mpo? Hey, can we stand and stretch? Let the blood flow. Just bend your legs backwards a bit. Okay, tunaweza kaa. I was asked this morning to just make remarks. We are still expecting the PS for the State Department for Youth. I want to appreciate my fellow partners who are here, and some have spoken, and the esteemed young people that are here with us today, the Kenya School of Government and government representatives who are here. Ladies and gentlemen, are we still morning? Good morning. I'm here because of the President of Kenya. In 2018, the President was recognized as a champion for youth agenda, a UN or a global champion for young people's agenda. But that translated into a partnership called Generation Unlimited, which is also a global partnership. And in that partnership is among 12 global leaders for that partnership. And that partnership is to ensure that young people aged 10 to 24 are in education, training, and employment by 2030. Those who attend today in 2030 will be almost 24. Those who are 24 today will be almost 34 in 2030. So it covers young people up to 34 by 2030. I will not go much into that, but just give some remarks. First, let me just say that we are very happy of this partnership with Youth Agenda, and we are happy to join you in the employment conference, and the theme is very apt: economic transformation and job creation. Transformation, of course, means something has to change, isn't it? So if we are going to transform our economy, so that it addresses the needs that we have. I congratulate Youth Agenda and all the partners for bringing us together, diverse, multi-stakeholders, especially the youth. Who is below 34 here? Can we see the hands? I wish there was a camera taking. Lift your hand. Higher. Okay, let me put mine down. Keep it up. If there's a cameraman, they should be taking a picture so that we say that the biggest stakeholder here is young people, the young people or the youth. So we are happy to be here today, these 2 days, to hold discussions and find solutions to youth unemployment and shape policy and indeed our National Vision 2030, because it's still an agenda, isn't it? And we want to be able to know that even as we shape the next medium-term plan, the voices of young people are there. In Generation Unlimited, our youth engagement strategy has got the priority of inclusion and youth voice. If those are not there, then this generation will be unlimited. So if we are going to say that we want our young people to be unlimited, inclusion and their voice has to be key. The theme of this conference is of great importance, given that Kenya is a country of young people. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, 75% of the total population of 47.6 million is below the age of 35 years. This is as per the last census. The major downside of the youth bulge, or that large population of young people, is high youth unemployment, which is both an economic and a social challenge for the country. So Kenya, like most of the other African countries, experiences the crisis of mass youth unemployment, with over 1 million young people joining the workforce every year. This means that we need to create more than 1 million new jobs annually to keep up with the rapidly expanding youth population, and also to deal with the large number of youth who are not in employment, nor in education or training in our country. And this number is quite high, because as of March 2020, it was 15.7%. By April to June 2020, this had gone up to 18.2%. So we have almost 3 million young people, and this was before COVID, who are not in employment, not in education or in training. That's a large number to stay idle, because other than their personal needs not being met, they are also not contributing to the economy. To prepare our young people for dignified work, because work has to be dignified, the government has prioritized investments that are yielding results towards creating job opportunities and sustainable livelihoods. For instance, to provide 21st century employability skills, the education sector continues to receive the lion's share of the recurrent budget. More than 25% of our total budget goes to education. So Kenya's education is recognized as one of the best in the continent, with all children having access to free primary and almost 100% transitioning to secondary school. Further, major reforms in the education sector, including TVET, technical and vocational education, are making the skills more relevant and better aligned to the needs of the economy. As a country, we have further put in place mechanisms to support the survival, growth, and productivity of our micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises. And these are in all sectors, including agriculture, manufacturing, and even the service sector. There are several funds in place, such as the Youth Enterprise Fund, Women's Fund, among others, and of course other opportunities like AGPO, that support youth entrepreneurs, and as well as a credit guarantee scheme for SMEs that was launched last year through the National Treasury. When COVID pandemic disrupted lives, necessitating a shift in how we work, live, and socialize, the government and our partners underscored the importance of prioritizing the young people's agenda in response to COVID. And when we went around talking to young people, They told us there were actually also positive aspects of COVID, because now they're able to do digital skills, they're able to do e-commerce, and most of all, they're able to attend meetings even out of the country through the virtual meetings. So it's not all doom with COVID. His Excellency the President launched Generation Unlimited, and those of us who are in entrepreneurship or employment, we still can give barriers. So let us always be able to highlight those so that the relevant partners can address them for us to be decently employed or working in an environment that will make our businesses thrive if we are in business. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on development of the 4th medium-term plan, we need to be cognizant of the fact that for the young people, as we say in Generation Unlimited, it is their time, their turn, their future. I heard the Director General saying that it is not time for you to go into politics. We still need some of you in politics. If your voice is not there, 75% is not there. Or let's say 35%, because now we can talk about the 18 to 34. Do you want to do a program or a project that has not been informed by 35% or by 75% if we think of 1 to 34? No. So it is, let's just say this. Let's read there and say it. Time yetu. So you say after me, time yetu. Turn yetu. Future yetu. This MTP will not realize what is expected if young people's voices are not there, if young people's perspectives are not there. So as we say in GNU, it is your time, your turn, and your future that we are planning for, and you really need to be in it. The challenges before and during the COVID-19 pandemic call for adaptive approaches to ensure that every young person is in education, training, and employment and entrepreneurship by 2030. If by 2030 we have no single person that is not in employment, and it doesn't mean you have to be employed in Kenya. We have a Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have a Ministry of Labor. Let them find ways of, we have given you skills, let them find where these skills can be exported, because if it is our crop, it is the only crop we have. With the climate change, we don't know whether we'll be exporting coffee. Why don't we export skills? So it is your time, your turn, and your future. In recognition of this, the Generation Unlimited partnership aims to initiate innovative solutions, and this partnership includes young people, to challenges that people have in accessing quality education, skills, training, employment, and entrepreneurship. That's one. Second, accelerate scalable initiatives and good practices. Let your partners, whoever you come across that you are working with, even if you're in an institution, please say what is working and what is not working. There's no point of accelerating and repeating things that are not working. Say what is working so that that can be accelerated if it's a good practice. Remove bottlenecks and barriers, especially for vulnerable young people. We have just seen the roll call here, how there are no people here from some places. That's already a barrier of access to opportunity. So let us try and remove those barriers and bottlenecks. If we need to have somebody here from Mandera, we need to have somebody here from Marsabit, from wherever. Even if they are not here, can we get the link? Because we have a lot of young people that we can share with and see, oh, we are the meal. We don't want young people to be the meal or the menu. Co-creating, young people have come up with a lot of things. You heard of the young people that in KU created the ventilators. As of the last time I checked, they had not gotten license or the registration to actually have them commercialized. So even as much as we're asking young people to co-create or to innovate, we also need to remove the barrier that makes it impossible for them to get to enjoy the fruits of their innovations and of what they are doing. So those are the 4 areas that Generation Unlimited will focus on. The work is with our partners, One, ILO, everybody else that is working towards those things. You're working with young people. Kindly let us make sure that we are initiating innovative solutions, accelerating best practice, removing bottles and barriers, and co-creating with young people. And I believe if we do that, we'll be able to achieve. As I have already alluded, in the endeavor to deliver promises to the youthful population through the right investments that prepare them for tomorrow's world, the government works with different partners both in the country and globally. And these investments have created jobs, not that they haven't. They have developed critical needed infrastructure. We've contributed to economic growth, particularly in the sectors we are discussing today: agriculture, manufacturing, environment, digital, and creative sectors. So if we leverage very well on this and we work very hard and together so that we are not working in silos, we will not only create green, blue, and orange jobs, decent jobs, but also enlarge the economy with potential for more employment opportunities. You can listen to politicians saying how they will create 4 million jobs. 4 million jobs is 10,000 jobs a day. If we're only creating 800 jobs a year, how is somebody going to create 10,000 jobs a day? So we also need to be realistic. But if the economy is growing, somebody says we are going to achieve, I'm going to make sure Kenya gets 12% growth, 15%, I believe me the jobs will come automatically. So let us listen to people that are transforming our economy in terms of the economy creating jobs, not that you stand and say you are creating jobs. As His Excellency the President reminded us during the launch of Generation Unlimited in 2020, the youth are a resource, and that has been mentioned by ILO, that has the potential to expand Kenya's and Africa's productive workforce and turn Africa into a frontier of growth and innovation. But he also noted that we must give young people education and employment opportunities if our societies are to live to their full potential, but our young people if they are also going to live to their full potential. I note that we have invested heavily in preparing you, young people, for a digital economy, and have made great strides in harnessing and adapting to digital technologies for the benefit of the young people. For instance, Ajira Digital Program is helping technologically savvy Kenyan youth to take full advantage of the extensive technology platforms to create and connect to jobs. However, there is still a large digital divide that we should address urgently, and a great need for accurate, relevant, and timely labor market information, as well as a vibrant support and mentorship ecosystem. Young people need to be supported. Even as we say that we want young people to be in governance, let them be mentored, let them be worked with. And that is why it is important for us to work with Youth Agenda and other youth organizations so that capacity is developed. From here, when Victor goes to another organization after he has left Youth Agenda, let him go and make a difference in that organization. And what he learned as a young person, the skills that he has learned, and the ideals that he has of young people, they will never leave him. And I can give the example of Susan, who was the CEO of Youth Agenda. She's still working for young people. So let us mentor young people. Let us ensure that young people have the capacity to continue, even when they are beyond 35, to continue remembering that the skills that they learned in these organizations. As we confer today and tomorrow over this theme, let us ensure we come up with comprehensive and smart recommendations for the 4th medium-term plan to achieve significant results and impacts towards achieving our Vision 2030 overarching goal of a globally competitive and prosperous country with a high quality of life to all its citizens in a clean and secure environment. I ask that as young people, you also inculcate or develop the right values and attitudes, because those are the soft skills that you need to combine with your hard skills that you've learned in whatever institutions you've learned to be able to fit in the world of work or in the world of entrepreneurship. So with that, those remarks, I would like to say that I look forward to these discussions and wish us all a very productive 2 days. And as we wait for the PS, declare that the session is open so that we can deliberate. Thank you all, and God bless Kenya.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for those remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember I had indicated time is not on our side. At this point, allow me to request that we proceed for a health break, 20 minutes. After that, I will invite Madam Nina Hazwe from One Campaign to briefly share about the state of youth employment from a continental perspective and what are some of the best practices that we can borrow as a country as we deliberate today and tomorrow. Thanks so much, and I request that we proceed for 20 minutes health break. Tea served, so I know you'll be directed by my colleague behind there. Thanks so much, and let's proceed. This one? Is it there? Yes. I think look at you. Eh? I'm a sijui anaserve wapi. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, hapa kina wini hapa. Yes, yes. This one? Yes. This one? Yes, the projector, it will project there. Yes, yes. Is there? Yes.